Have it be your turn now. I'm saying, baby, 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 baby.
What the hell was that?
Welcome to the Grizzled Geek Podcast, episode 98. I'm Mike.
I'm Doug.
And together we are the Grizzled Geek Podcast. That's right. The show, the host may be old, but the news is fresh every week.
How long did that one take you?
Off the cuff.
All right, nice.
Like, so say something clever. Stare. Welcome, everybody. Appreciate you. Charlie Tango. Real
Right
quick,
away.
want to give a shout out to Charlie Tango, our buddy, who brought us a gift, sent us a gift from Gen Con, sent us a copy of
You got it handy to
Battletech.
show off?
I'm like, is it close by? I don't know. I was playing with it earlier. Yes, thank you, Charlie. We really appreciate it. And I know on our other channel, we'll be diving into it. Doug and I used to play Battletech way back in the day.
This was one of the first games I actually played at a gaming convention.
Yeah.
I just remember jumping around with a Phoenix Hawk.
That's
and
right.
The guy cheated and didn't keep track of his ammo. I was playing for first place, and freaking dude, that was very frustrating. Well, you only get 15 shots with that. How many has it been?
All I remember is our buddy Chris calling a headshot, with his Gauss rifle and taking down my awesome. But yeah, I can't wait to check out the new edition and mess with that. Yeah, Matt from Absolute Geeks with us. Thank you for checking out our bouncy house behind me. That's right. We had our started off as our castle set, turned into quickly with the fans we got going on here, the inflatable bouncy house. So makes you feel, that playground kind of feel. So as opposed to medieval castle kind of feel. It still looks better than the blinds. So I'm going with it.
Cool.
All right, guys, it is our 98th episode, which that means we are 2 episodes away from our 100th live stream episode. And we got some stuff planned for it. Got some guests on. Hopefully, Matt, doing the Absolute Geek guys, pop in and say hi for our 100th episode. We'll have our very own Kirsten returning to the podcast. So excited about that. And hopefully, we'll have some good news out there as well. So, nice.
What's up?
Yeah. So, Doug, what have you been up to this week? Anything exciting?
Yeah, doing a little painting, building miniatures, put together a little Lumineth Rune of Petrification to add to my army. And painting up some Lumineth Sentinels. I've actually dived back into Sentinels of the Multiverse computer game.
Nice.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah, so.
That's as you're lotioning up your knees. Yeah, there was a call out for your knees when you weren't here. People wanted it. I know. We're saving it for the 100th episode. 100th episode. The W knees montage. All right. So, I haven't been doing much, but recuperating. I took a tumble a couple weeks back. And, being old and fat, you kind of, at first I was like, man, I just scraped my knee up a little bit. I'm good. And then 3 days after, my side started hurting a little bit. And then now my entire side. So went in, got checked out, no broken bones, but bruised ribs, bruised all the way down. So now I went in like, all right, I'm just gonna check see if there's broken bones. They're like, nope. I'm like, oh, good to go. And they're like, yeah, but that's gonna take a while to heal, and you get to do these deep breathing exercises that hurt, so you don't get pneumonia. I'm like, oh, awesome. So not only did they not give me anything for pain, they gave me exercises to do that cause more pain.
So how is it
So-
that bruised ribs can lead to pneumonia?
I guess I'm
Okay.
not. If you don't breathe in and inflate your lungs all the way.
Oh, if you just kind of only half breathe because it hurts, then
Yeah.
I got it. Okay.
Yeah. So I got to do these deep breathing exercises to hold it in, and hurt pride. I don't know, man. I got to say, I feel pretty good about my bout with the street because they just freshly paved that street out there, and I got 2 holes in it where my knees went. I'm like,
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Yeah. My bruising is going to go away eventually, but those holes are going to be there a while. I left my mark on that street. It's going to remember me. All right, guys. Let's jump into some of the news this week. Venom Let There Be Carnage opens today. Yes, the fate of old fat people exercises. Damn. Yes, that is true. That is so true.
Yeah.
So Doug, man, Let There Be Carnage open today. I know you've been waiting for this one with bated breath.
Chomping at the bit.
Yeah, exactly. So critic reviews are in, and it seems to be somewhat of a mixed bag, if you can imagine that. I mean, I don't know if
It's hard to imagine because I thought it would be all bad. But hey.
Oh, there's Matt's glowing review. Movie was something else. Right now it's sitting at a 58% of Rotten Tomatoes critic scores. Just to give you an idea of what some of the critics are saying about it, THR says the best thing you can say about the action in Carnage is that it doesn't stretch the film past the hour-and-a-half mark. I'm like, okay.
You know what's weird is it's got 85% audience score.
Does it have an audience score now? It didn't have an audience score earlier,
Yeah.
so yep.
With 1,000 reviews, so
yeah. I mean, well, that end credit scene goes a long way towards letting the audience like it. Den of Geeks was even less impressed, concluding that their 2-star write-up with, yes, Venom 2 is better than the first Venom, but then again, so are trips to the dentist. So.
Yeah, see, I remember us saying that Venom 1 was better than it had a right to be.
It was. Venom 1 was way better than it had a right to be.
It had a stupid bad guy, but at least the scenes with Venom and Brock were kind of good.
Yeah. So if you like the scenes with Venom and Brock and you just want a repeat of that, that's what this
problem is that everything they showed in the previews were so cringy. All the stuff with Venom and Eddie, you were just like, what? Who wrote this?
Yep.
How did you write worse dialogue than the first movie? What is going on?
Yeah, I mean, it looked pretty bad. But I mean, they got some good reviews too. Like the LA Times gave it a glowing review, saying, describing the movie as touching, wild entertainment, and adding that it's the themes of home, love, and companionship that make Circus's sequel another reason to want more Venom movies and quickly. Yeah, there goes Matt's green, spot on, and he walks around sweaty drunk the entire time.
First one, because he did seem kind of like. I mean, the first one, it was justifiable because he didn't know what was going on. He thought he was going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
LA Times is. I hate to say it, but they are essentially a shill for the studios. They are,
I just don't know how you can go from one critic going. I mean, I understand critics like disagree, right? But
Right.
saying this is worse than a trip to the dentist, and another one saying that it is the, heartwarming and they want a reason to want more Venom movies right away. I mean, it just seems like two total opposite ends here. But yeah, so I know it's just opening tonight. Do we want to talk about the end credit scene?
Since we haven't seen it yet, and I don't know what the end credit scene is, maybe not.
Oh, Doug, yeah, never mind. We'll wait.
I don't know if or when we're going to go see it, but to do our own little review. But
yeah,
give it some time, I guess. Let it breathe. Or maybe talk about it at the end when we're gonna do spoilers of What If.
True. Yeah, we'll talk about it at the end. We'll wait. If you guys haven't seen it, we'll get through the most of the episode. We'll talk about it towards the end there. All right. So,
yeah.
All right. So, yeah,
I mean,
most excited. Yeah, Doug's chomping at the bit.
This next story is amazing.
In case you're wondering how excited Doug is, take a look at this picture. Look at that. That's excitement right there.
Yeah.
All right, Doug, go ahead. We'll jump into it.
This is my favorite sci-fi show of all time. Stargate's up there, Star Trek's up there, but Babylon 5 is the preeminent sci-fi series in my opinion, and we are getting a reboot from series creator J. Michael Straczynski, and he says this will be from the ground up reboot. And some of the other stuff that we'll talk about here tends to suggest that means it is a refresh of the story. It is a true reboot. They're not just going to retell the same story. They're going to tweak it a bit. Straczynski is going to be in charge. He's going to be the showrunner, and he's writing the pilot. Which I'm wondering to what degree this will remain the case, because he was originally the showrunner for B5, the guy who created it, made the series Bible, wrote a bunch of episodes. But there were other writers, the directing team. But then towards the end, he's like, nope, I'm going to write it all. And wrote every episode from pretty much season 3 on.
He finished the story out, yeah.
So we'll see how long just sitting back in the showrunner seat lasts for him. But all right, so Straczynski says on Twitter, the great news is that the new B5 is for an actual network with proper budgets and PR. B5 originally had a ridiculously tiny budget and aired on syndicated P10, which most folks never heard of and could only be found with a Ouija board and a hunting dog. So Warner Brothers is still attached. They're going to be producing it, but now Warner Brothers seems more committed to it. And I believe somewhere I thought I saw that this was going to be a HBO Max series. That's what
correct? It's looking like. It hasn't been confirmed that it's HBO Max, but everyone's speculating because it's Warner Brothers that they're going to want to put this on their streaming service.
So we got an early synopsis from Warner Brothers that said, it says the series is going to be John Sheridan, an Earth Force officer with a mysterious background, is assigned to Babylon 5, a 5-mile-long space station in neutral space, a port of call for travelers, smugglers, corporate explorers, and alien diplomats at a time of uneasy peace and the constant threat of war. His arrival triggers a destiny beyond anything he could have imagined, as an exploratory Earth company accidentally triggers a conflict with a civilization a million years ahead of us, putting Sheridan and the rest of the B5 crew in the line of fire as the last best hope for the survival of the human race. Oh, no, you were right. I did see an article that said that it was going to be on CW.
CW? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That is right. You could see the original series now on HBO Max. That's what it was. So this synopsis makes it sound slightly different than before.
Yeah.
So, the like blatant reference to smugglers was not in the original description or anything like that. I mean, it happened, but it wasn't something that was, a major plot point. Corporate explorers also was a background plot point, including, you could say, the Earth company that accidentally triggers the conflict are Anna Sheridan's expedition that goes to Zahadum and wakes up the shadows.
Yeah.
So, there's those elements that they're kind of being vague with that give them room to maneuver and change some of the stuff. Notice it's Sheridan's right there, season 1. There's no
Right. Yeah.
Sinclair to start with, so we'll see. Charlie, yeah, I mean, this is why I think they can't catch lightning in a bottle twice. I would agree with that. Although we've seen a lot of shows that have been reimagined and they were as good or better than their original parts. So,
like
the fact that it's
Battlestar
Straczynski bringing
Galactica,
in, yeah,
you know,
even some of the later Stargate shows, maybe not as good, but they were in the same realm of quality as the original Stargate SG-1. So I think we're in a place where we're much better at, and studios are much more willing to risk these kind of things, whereas they wouldn't have been in the past. There's more faith in the sci-fi genre. So I think you're going to see, and Straczynski, has a huge cult following. So I think Warner Brothers is going to give him some slack. There's not going to be a wondering year to year if it's going to continue. I remember when it was coming out, we were watching it as it was coming out. There was always, are they going to get another year? Like, it's supposed to be a 5-year story, but are we going to get it? Are we going to get it?
it has some growing pains, kind of like Deep Space Nine. Right.
Yeah.
When it first came out, it stumbled through the first couple of seasons and then it picked up. And I think part of what made Babylon 5 so good was DS9 and vice versa. Right. They made each other a better series because of the competition. Right.
And though Babylon 5 was not unique in coming up with the contained story, it's like, every season was a kind of an arc of a bigger story. It was meant to be 5 years all along. So every episode in some way informed the whole, arc of episodes. They weren't unique in doing that. They were just unique for a modern audience. There was sometime in the 50s or 60s, I don't know if it was The Prisoner or one of those kind of old, not exactly sci-fi, but kind of in that realm, franchises, was that same kind of episodic, part of a story arc kind of show.
Yeah.
And this, presumably, the way it sounds, this is going to be the same way. There's a definitive story to be told. Whether or not that will be in just 5 years, or 5 seasons, we don't know yet. But man, I'm looking forward to this. I think it's gonna be cool.
Does the fact that Straczynski is part of it give you hope?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
like
the only reason
Yeah, I was gonna say if he
they
wasn't
were
doing
rebooting it without him, I would be frustrated and concerned. And with him, I am very excited to see what they do, because I know there were things he wanted to do that he couldn't quite do, either because the technology wasn't there, he didn't have support of the studio, or the studio. So, and he was always in fear of being canceled, so he couldn't push some envelopes. I think he'll get a chance to do that.
Yeah.
And apparently, the people who are survivor members of the show, according to Claudia Christensen, they have been, Straczynski reached out to them to let them know he was doing this because he wanted them involved in some way, which is surprising coming from her because they had kind of an acrimonious departure. So if she's saying this, then maybe bridges have been amended and he's actually trying to find a way for all of the people who are still alive from the original cast to make guest appearances someplace, to a little cameo or
right,
give them some other part in there. So it'd be interesting to see.
Well, I gotta say,
pretty much needs to be a cameo or they'll be distracting.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm on the excited end of the spectrum for this because I love Babylon 5 so much. But I mean, I just can't wrap my head around what this is going to look like without Jakar, without Londo, without Garibaldi, right? I mean, without Delenn. I'm trying to picture what this is going to look like without those guys, or new people playing them if they're,
Yeah.
So it's hard to do, right? Until I see it, it's going to be hard to do. So,
I think one of the main things we're going to see is a shift of perspective. I don't think it's going to be Londo telling the story anymore.
Yeah.
Like it was, the entire story of B5 was Londo telling the story to these kids at the end of his life, just before he and Jakar kill each other, telling them, all about the story. So there you get that unreliable narrator this is how I remember it being.
Right. Yeah.
So now you can slightly change it up and go, no, it was this way. And maybe you have it's Jakar telling the story, or it's Delenn telling the story, or somebody along those lines.
Right.
Be interesting. I'm excited to see what they do with it.
Yeah.
It's just a really cool world. And I do agree with a lot of the people who are like, why not just continue the story? Maybe there'll be a way for that to happen now. Because he always did want to continue the story.
Right.
There just wasn't the interest from the studios. A few people died. More have died since.
Or maybe they can start at a different spot, right? Like Sheridan shows up. Obviously, we're skipping ahead a little bit from the original series. Maybe the Shadows, releasing the Shadows happens earlier on.
Maybe Sinclair was there before and he's already gone. Who knows?
Yeah, and then we go past where the other one ended. Right.
The only thing that I'm kind of frustrated about this is I kind of wish we had got this news after we're further into development, so it was coming soon.
Right. So now you're like,
the way we're not going to get this for a year and a half, maybe 2 years.
Right.
And it's going to be hard to wait that long for this.
But yeah. But who knows which is coming out first? Because the next thing I want to talk about is a new version for Dungeons and Dragons. Again, guys, this may be something we normally would put on our other gaming channel, but Dungeons and Dragons is so ubiquitous. I think we should probably just talk about it here because it is a big thing. And it was just kind of dropped on us the very last day of D&D Celebration 2021.
Not a Gen Con.
Not a Gen Con.
Arguably a way bigger stage, way bigger platform.
Yeah, they just kind of, and it was just kind of in the creators roundabout, and by the way, and there's going to be a new iteration of the rules coming out in 2024. So it's not officially named 6th edition, but it'll launch with new versions of the core rule books that coincide with D&D's 50th anniversary. And it's said that the rule set will still be backwards compatible with 5th edition books and supplements. And it's largely designed based on community feedback from 5th edition. So
we have a 5.5.
Yeah, exactly. This is going to be the 3.5 of 5th edition, as opposed to, going to 2nd edition or going to, 4th edition. It's not going to be from the ground up.
I'm kind of curious what the what the community feedback for 5th edition has been?
Charlie Tango was like, Wizards of the Coast Hasbro doesn't come to Gen
Oh.
Con anymore.
Interesting.
So that's why
Any
it wasn't
reason
announced
why?
there.
Did they have like a falling out with Gen Con, or
Yeah.
they're just too big for it and they want their own convention?
Yeah, I mean that's why they have a
DC not
D&D
going
celebration.
to Comic Con.
Yeah.
That's weird.
But yeah, I mean this sounds like. I mean, first off, backwards compatible. That sounds like a 3.5.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. All right.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't. This is one of those things where people are like, "Oh, what's this going to be?" 6th edition. I think this is going to be streamlining of the rules. It's going to fix some of the things that are broken in 5th edition, right? Which 5th edition is pretty good, but I mean, there's a few things that need to be. The problem right now with 5th edition is
Too broad.
The power creep, right? All the new, classes, class types, or whatever, are far more powerful than,
than the base stuff in
than
the
the
book.
base stuff, right? Yeah, it just keeps getting more and more, power creep. So hopefully it resets a little bit of that. I don't think that everybody holding their breath for it to fix the leveling issue. Past 12, no version of D&D ever fixed that. So I don't think that's something going to happen. But I mean, I don't know. What do you think, Doug, about this announcement of the new D&D?
Cool. I mean, 6 years is a long time. Was it 6 or 7 years now? When did
7
come out? It was in 17.
Yep.
2017 it came out. Okay. So yeah, that sounds like about right for a life cycle of this without some sort of refresh. So that's cool. I would like a little more complexity to the system. Not just more, but more dialed in. Like I don't want a different way, like a new class that does something different than the others do. I want you to be able to take your classes in different ways and add things on, to be a little different, because I think they get kind of ridiculous in the number of stupid classes they get that are so niche that it's 2014, so it's 10 years.
Yeah.
Wow, that seems, man, time flies so fast.
We're old.
How long have we been? 2 years we've been on this campaign. 3 years we've been doing this one campaign that's coming close to an end. Yeah. So, anyways,
but they don't want to get too far afield because 5th edition is the most popular version of Dungeons and Dragons ever.
Yeah.
So I mean,
if they're going like 3.5 was all about, you can add on these extra things. You can take these these extra feats, and didn't that have the prestige classes and stuff like that you could take, or something along those lines? I don't remember. It's been so long. But yeah, there was I like complexity in that. That was my big problem with 4th edition, was everything was the same. There was no complexity. And I know that makes it I know that makes it harder to balance things, but still.
Yeah. It's never meant to be balanced. Back in the day. There's also, it says there's going to be a digital component or supplement involved with it, with the release. So now I don't know whether or not, I think this might have something to do with the fact that Wizards of the Coast does not own D&D Beyond, right? And they're seeing the potential with all the, at home playing that's going on right now.
Yeah.
Whether or not they try to throw their hat in the ring with their own digital version, or not. I don't know.
If they had a digital table that was as good or better than Roll20, and it came with all of the book, maybe you have to put book codes in or something. Maybe you just pay a subscription and you get access to all of the books digitally and all of the supplements digitally. I'd do it. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. If I didn't have to buy every single book and I could just pay a subscription fee and have access to everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be a great, I think it would be a lot of fun that way.
Yeah. So, well, there you have it, guys. New D&D coming in 2024. So we got some time to think about it. It's going to be for the 50th anniversary.
And hopefully get more, some more info about it as it comes closer and closer.
Yeah. But I like the fact that it's largely designed based on community feedback. I mean, that's tells you quite a bit there. Cool. All right, guys. That's it for our regular stories. Now it's time to move on. It's Nerd Nugget time, folks. These are our smaller stories, our Geek Bites, Nerd Nuggets. So first off, Scarlett Johansson and Walt Disney Studios settled their blockbuster Black Widow lawsuit. So while terms of the deal were not disclosed, Deadline has learned that the settlement will reportedly be in excess of $40 million, which won't be paid in a one lump sum. And each party had statements, the kiss and make up statements. In Scarlett Johansson's statement, she said, "I'm happy to have resolved the differences with Disney. I'm incredibly proud of the work that we've done together over the years and have greatly enjoyed my creative relationship with the team, and I look forward to continuing our collaboration in years to come." So I look forward to working with Disney again. Specifically, she's
already cast in something.
because she had that Tower of Terror thing before, and that was the big thing. I was like, well, she's throwing that away to sue Disney? I'm like, okay. And then Disney Studios Chairman Alan Bergman added, "I'm very pleased that we've been able to come to a mutual agreement with Scarlett regarding Black Widow. We appreciate her contributions to the Marvel Cinematic Universe and look forward to working together on a number of upcoming projects, including Disney's Tower of Terror." So, as Charlie Taylor puts it, in other words, cha-ching.
This makes sense because Disney wanted this out of the spotlight as quickly as possible.
Yep.
So that it doesn't start a new wave of other stars suing Disney.
Yeah.
Over their movies. Specifically, they don't want Cruella.
Yeah.
Actress. Why am I spacing on her name?
Emma Stone.
Yeah. They don't want, they want to nip that in the bud. So they may have already reached out and said, "Hey, we settled with Scarlett. Why don't we do this before, let's just drop everything."
Yeah, exactly. Let's just fix this right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm glad it's fixed.
And I'm glad that they're still going to work together because that would have been a bummer.
Because it got unnecessarily ugly in that beginning there, right? I don't know what Disney was thinking. I'm sure there were some spokespersons that got fired for that.
Yeah, that was that whole thing was a little.
People dying of COVID. How dare she sue us? I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Right.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, the roller coaster set to open in 2022 in Walt Disney World, specifically in Epcot. The Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind attraction has taken the place of the slow-moving but informative, in quotes, Ellen's Energy adventure located in the Universe of Energy Pavilion, which Disney also confirmed will now be known as the Wonders of Xandar Pavilion. This coaster looks super cool. You get launched backwards, and then the car you're in turns. It's free flowing. It'll turn to, because you're going to be inside like a dome for most of the ride. So you'll turn to look at different scenes. So you'll start backwards and then you'll kind of turn, here and there as you go through the ride. So it's pretty cool.
Wasn't the one
Looks
that's
like it's gonna be
replacing just like a tram? Basically, you just sit in it and you go along a track.
Yeah, the University of Energy was extremely long. Like, I want to say it was maybe even like 30 or 40 minutes. And it was kind of joked, this is where you went when you needed to cool down and take a nap. Because you were in like giant movie theater seating.
Right.
And then you just went along a track through like Bill Nye and Ellen talking about different types of energy. So it was a long, relatively boring ride that most people just used for, I need to sit down for a while and just kind of cool off and nap or whatever.
How long before everything in Disney is Star Wars or Marvel? They're just gonna replace.
Well, I think it'll be all of their, it's slowly and surely all their IP is taking over.
Yeah.
So we got a Ratatouille ride just opened up. Technically, it's been open, soft open for a while. Today was its opening day officially. You had an old Epcot ride replaced with a Frozen ride. You're getting Splash Mountain is being replaced by Princess and the Frog. So yeah, they're slowly but surely taking over with their modern IPs, because a lot of the stuff was old IP. Like Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse was a Disney movie. Now it's it's Tarzan's Treehouse, so it's another Disney movie. So
it's just a different Disney movie.
Just a different one, yeah. So
like I love the 3,000 Leagues Under the Sea ride when I was a kid.
Oh right.
I mean, yeah, you just
now
get
it's
into
Nemo's Explorer Submarines or something like that.
Yeah.
Although most people, I don't know why they continue to work on that instead of just scrapping it.
Yeah, that one should be scrapped. Yeah.
It and the Autopia take up so much room that if you just got rid of those, you could put so much other cool stuff in its place. But
yeah,
who knows?
Who knows? All right. So we also got Disney Plus and Lucasfilm have officially announced that the Book of Boba Fett will premiere exclusively on a streaming service just in time for the new year on Wednesday, December 29th. So at the end of the very last part of the year. Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, Bryce Dallas Howard, and Robert Rodriguez all directing episodes for this season, with Rodriguez reportedly helming multiple installments, which is awesome because he's the one that brought us the Return of Boba Fett last season, which was an awesome episode. Did you watch the behind the scenes of that episode?
Yeah.
Where he worked out his cinematic with his kids in costume and action figures in his backyard. Yeah.
I didn't remember that, but that's
funny. So excited it was, yeah. And Dave, he's like, yeah, guys, sorry about this. I did my animatics with action figures, and Dave Filoni's, that makes the best animatics ever. So yeah, it was pretty awesome. So outside of that, not much is known about this. Production is wrapped in June, so it's likely they're deep in post-production, and hopefully a trailer will be released imminently. If it's going to be coming out at the end of this year, we should be getting a trailer for it. So I'm assuming probably on Disney Plus Day. So
maybe.
Yeah, with the really review of all that other stuff. So
cool.
Because remember, we're getting a special dedicated just to Boba Fett on that day. So I'm assuming during that will be the trailer for the Book of Boba Fett.
That'll be cool.
I'm just excited about possibility of a live action Cad Bane.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that. You've got a live action. There's no reason you can't do live action Bane.
Yeah. Super excited. All righty, Doug.
All right. Warner Media's day and date release model has come in for a lot of criticism, with several filmmakers publicly expressing their concerns. Now CEO Jason Kyler has admitted that the plan was rushed. and this is a quote, "I will be the first one to say, and the responsibility rests on my shoulders, that in hindsight, we should have taken the better part of a month to have over 170 conversations, which is the number of participants that are in our 2021 film slate." Kyler said this during Vox Media's Code conference via the Hollywood Reporter. We need to do that in a compressed. We tried to do that in a compressed period of time, less than a week, because of course there was going to be leaks. There was going to be everybody's opining on whether we should do this or not do this.
COVID panic.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it comes down to. They were like, no one's going to theaters. Movie theaters are dead.
Yeah.
That's
and you know what? He's not entirely wrong. We went to opening day or not opening day. We went a week after Shang-Chi released.
Mm-hmm.
Just a week, I think it was, right?
Yeah.
And there were 20 people in the IMAX theater.
Yeah.
So, blockbuster, I mean, yeah. Even big, Marvel blockbusters don't have any staying power in the theaters. Yeah. So, yeah, theaters, I think, are going to become a niche experience with, I think you're going to see a definitive split at some point. I mean, maybe AMC and Harkins will try and play the middle and go both art house and blockbuster. Movies. But, you've got to. There's so much middle ground. There's so many things that come out that most people are going to be able to go, you know what? I'm used to doing this in my house now. I don't need to see the new, whatever, the new Stephen King movie, or I don't need to see the new, if it's not a blockbuster, blow them up, lots of explosions kind of a movie.
Yeah.
Why do you need to see it on a big screen? The new rom-com, the new whatever, you just, you log into your streaming service and watch it there.
Right. Exactly. Which sad, but I mean, that's pretty much the way things are. So.
It's different. I mean, I would never have thought that personally, because I'm like, oh yeah, going to see, I hardly ever watched non-blockbuster movies in the theater anymore. If it wasn't a Marvel movie or Star Wars or, something big, big like that, I didn't go see it in the theaters. And now that's a lot of people are just, that's their default is, like, why go to the movies anymore?
Yeah.
I have everything at home. I have a 70-inch TV in my house. Why do I need to go? Yeah, that's plenty big to see, whatever it is.
Matt can't wait till the 100th episode. Got to see those knees.
You stream the episode on your TV, 70-inch TV in the living room.
That's right. Like,
Yeah. You don't have to wait. 6 months. No.
6 months to come out of video. Yeah. No, it comes out quick. I mean, it's just, I think they're gonna, they should have that 1 month drop in theaters. I don't think it's gonna have like it's not gonna have legs in theaters that it, that movies had before, right? 3 or 4 months or whatever. I think you're gonna get 1 month in the theaters, right? So they can make some of that money. The block, especially the big blockbusters, people that want to see it in IMAX and stuff like that. And then you're gonna go to streaming.
Well, although Warner did not say that they were changing what they're doing.
No,
so they're still going to release things same day.
All they said was they wish they would have took the time to talk to more people about it.
Yeah, and you can assume that going from now on, all contracts for movies are going to be, we reserve the right to release this however we want.
Right. Yeah, Matt saw a 45-day theater window.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that's the old, right? Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that anymore.
Yeah.
30 days maybe. I don't even know that anymore is necessary.
Yeah, especially when we're going to the theaters, we're seeing them dead. And it's like, oh wow.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, get our assigned seating, then we get to spread our shit out because it's nobody around us.
And that's still the front of the theater stuff. The stuff that's still in the big theaters. The couple of times we've gone to movies that had moved on to the back of the complex.
Oh yeah.
Maybe there were a couple other people in there. Often you were there by yourself.
Yeah, it's like Sunday matinee. No matter what time you go.
So after 2 weeks, after 3 weeks, if they get 50 people in a day watching that movie, I would be surprised.
Yeah.
It's probably not that. So after 3 weeks, you might as well not pay to do it anymore. Although theaters need an excuse to stay open because there isn't a blockbuster, there isn't a big movie release every week. So what do you do in those times when there isn't something being released?
It's true. And Charlie Tango's got a point here. So the rest of the world doesn't have as much access to streaming, so box office may become more of an international thing.
The big markets do, though. Maybe not China quite as much, but all the European markets have all the major services, as far as I'm aware. Anybody in the EU or UK is probably going to have it. I'm not sure about South America, so maybe that's right. But again, China is so restrictive that they are a big deal, but they're only a big deal to a limited number of movies because they only allow a limited number of foreign movies to show in any one period of time.
Shang-Chi still doesn't even have an opening date there.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's talk What If, Doug. Episode 8, What If, after consoling us with a fun episode, Party Thor, after it being like downer, Party Thor, and then they left it on that downer cliffhanger, or that
although they also left a plot hole. Because this episode suggested that there's only one watcher, and that he's watching it. It's the same watcher we've been seeing. It's not different versions of him. Mm-hmm. Yet in the Party Thor episode, he was surprised. But in this current episode, he knew all along what was going, and he's the one who tipped Ultron off that there were other universes.
All right, Charlie Tango, you have a good one.
Have a good one. Yeah, so, don't get me wrong. This was a super cool episode. It just introduced the first plot hole we've had so far. Yeah. So that's kind of, all right, whatever. You got to wonder, if you are Hawkeye and Black Widow, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Are you fighting just because that's what you're used to doing? Because and then when Hawkeye dies, what do? You're like, I am the last person on Earth with a robot version of a Nazi.
Yeah.
Why am I even here anymore?
Why am I here? Yeah, what am I doing? Hawkeye's a quitter, says Matt. It took him a lot longer to quit than I would have.
Well, and remember, last time he went on a suicidal murder rampage because his family was gone. This time he was just like,
there's no one to murder.
There's nobody to murder but soulless robots. We don't even get to kill the main guy. So what am I doing?
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know.
Although they're walking around pretty freely on a world that just got nuked.
That's true. That is
and
true.
There's an awful lot of Moscow left for a nuke.
It's not a target anymore. No one gives a shit about Moscow anymore. It's like, it's Cold War stuff. I mean, I don't know, man. what do you think about how quickly Thanos got dispatched?
Oh, oh, yeah. Funny. And I mean, it does harken back to when he told Thor he should have gone for the head, because even with all of the stones, he was still could have been killed.
Yeah.
And in this one, it was just like, he didn't. I guess he was caught unawares,
Off guard.
and Ultron is just ruthless. So it wasn't even like I'm just gonna. I don't know.
Well, that's exactly how it's going to play out too. Like, nah,
No,
I don't run for nobody. Ultron. Yeah, I mean, yeah. To me, I mean, of course, then again, you got to look at it this way. It's Ultron with the Mind Stone, not Vision. Right. So Vision has that inherent, I guess, restrictor. I guess. As we're
remember,
Ultron.
we saw Vision just 4 episodes back, where he cut out, cut a building down into its basement.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and it fell down. So, it is that powerful. So,
so yeah, I mean, it is that powerful. I mean, it's the will to exert it, and there's nothing holding Ultron back. His clarity of purpose, so much he doesn't have to worry about, the human race or anything else. So,
and holy crap, did they make the Watcher powerful?
Yeah, well, the Watcher is powerful, but
he tangled with somebody with the Infinity Stones all collected together.
Yeah,
and he was able to battle him. Yeah, I mean, he was losing, but he was still able to battle him and not be destroyed.
And he put on his armor. That was like the Watcher armor, which is awesome.
Yeah.
It's like, we got to see that. So, yeah, I mean, he got his butt kicked still, but yeah, he was able to hold off. So, I think that's, you got to be pretty powerful to be a Watcher. So, all right. So there we have it. We got 2 episodes left. So
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think we do. Just 10 episodes, I think.
Okay. Makes sense. He gets 1 episode to put together the team and 1 episode to fight Ultron.
Yeah.
Because now he and Doctor Strange, the powered up version of Doctor Strange, are together and going to work together. So you can figure they're going to go and find a version of Captain Marvel, a version of Captain Carter, Party Thor. Forget who else. Probably Black Widow with the shield, with her shield, maybe. I don't know. And Zola.
Yeah, that guy in your backyard staring in your window, that's the Watcher. Just leave him alone. Super powerful. Let him do what he wants. He's like, this guy look at my window, though. Is he powerful? Yeah, that's the Watcher.
Yeah, yep.
Just be thankful you can hear him. All right. Yeah, it was good. I don't know, man. I'm like, well, I'll give it. I can't wait to give how this is going to, on a whole. I'm going to rate this whole series on a whole, because there's been ups and downs this entire series. It hasn't grabbed me like the other Marvel series, yet some episodes are really good, and I love the concept of it. It's one of those ones I really thought I was going to love, and now I'm like kind of like, I don't know. I got to see how it ends.
Huh. All right.
The guy watching Matt's licking his lips and rubbing his belly. Maybe that's not the Watcher. All right. All right, Doug. It's time, guys. We're going to talk about the end credit of Venom.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So if you have not seen Venom, and because it just opened, it might be likely. Then
click off now.
Click off now. So I think we have a spoiler warning. Oh, kind of. That spoiler warning didn't show. There we go. How about that one? Spoilers ahead. Okay, so real quick, guys, before we go. let's talk about how this end credit scene, it doesn't really affect the movie at all. It basically just kind of confirms Venom in the next Spider-Man movie. We get the scene where Venom or Eddie Brock is talking to Venom. There's on a bed in a hotel. Venom's going to show him the universe through a symbiote's eyes, and he's like, okay. And then everything starts shaking. All of a sudden, there's like this big flash of light, and everything starts changing around him. And now they're in a fancier hotel. The sunlight coming through, and Venom's like, he didn't do this, right? He doesn't know what happened. And on the TV, you hear J. Jonah Jameson talking about the menace of Spider-Man. And he gets up, turns into Venom, and licks the screen where it shows Peter Parker. Tom Holland, Peter Parker, right? Just licks the screen like he's attracted to him. And then, the actual owner of the hotel room comes out of the bathroom, and it's Eddie on the floor in front of the TV. So I think Eddie got transferred. I think it was a straight transfer into the MCU universe. And it could be, during the experiment that went awry, right?
With
so we know all these other bad guys.
Strange, you mean?
Strange, yeah. Could be the spell that went awry. Could be, whatever. But it was a straight transfer into this universe. So
interesting.
Venom is no longer in the Sonyverse, which is probably good. That universe sucked. And he's in the MCU. At least for the next Spider-Man movie. Which goes along with the whole scene of Tom Hardy wearing the Spider-Man No Way Home production hat. The whole bit.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, of course he's going to be in it. Just like we know, the other Spider-Men are going to be in it.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So.
Same man.
Yeah, I'm hoping
they'll score.
Yeah. So what do you think, Doug? What are you excited by this revelation or?
No, not at all.
Nah, even if it's just for the one Spider-Verse movie.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting Electro from Amazing Spider-Man, for God's sake.
Yeah, but they're all connected to a Spider-Man. Now you just suddenly got Venom, who's got no previous. I mean, are we led to believe that this is the Venom from? It's the same Venom that was in, but we know it's not the same Venom that was in the Spider-Man 3.
No, it's definitely not.
So it's just like, what the?
Although if Topper Grace shows up,
sense.
I'd be like super excited about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just to show up and have Tom Hardy beat him down.
Oh.
Like one hit out of the picture, all right, there you have it, guys. That's all we got. We'll speculate more on this next week. Next week, guys, Friday, our 99th episode, and after that, our 100th live stream episode. 100! Yeah, see, people are excited about it. So, join us again next week, guys. We'll do it all over again. All your nerd news. If you like what you see here, you can check us out. Basically, in 7:30, here in about a half hour, we're going to be over on our Grizzled War Master channel. You can check out our gaming channel. If you want some more geek stuff, you can check out the Absolute Geek podcast over there on their channel. They're on the same time. And if you want to support the channel, things we do, there's some links down below where you can buy our merch. You can join our Patreon, or you can use our Amazon affiliate link. But either way, if you like, subscribe, and share with your friends, that'll be good enough for all of us. So, all right, guys. I got to go. The peanut gallery is getting restless. So we'll see you next time.